I'm Jeff Cornwall, and this is The Entrepreneurial Mind. Today my guest is Paula Lovell with Lovell Communications. We'll be back to talk with her after this.
Talkapolis programming is sponsored in part by the Center for Advanced Dentistry, now serving the greater Nashville area.
So we first met when we kind of shared some time at Belmont, and so kind of talk about that whole transition from you were working pretty much full time at Belmont at the time. Is that correct, or kind of?
I started my company 26 years ago.
Yes.
And so Lovell Communications, which is my company, had Belmont as a client from 2000 to 2005.
Okay.
And so we first worked introducing the new president, Bob Fisher.
But I felt like you were there all the time.
Well, I was going to tell you that, what happened was I ended up moving over there and getting an office for a few years and loved it. What a great school, what a great institution, what great kids. It's just a wonderful place.
And then
so
you got us through the debate too, right?
Well, I started that process and went to Washington, D.C. and presented to the commission and helped put the RFP together. And then the first year, the Curb Center wasn't finished. And so then they got it the following debate. But yeah, that was one of our initiatives. It was fun. It was one of the most rewarding times in my career because Dr. Fisher gave us 5 goals to meet by 2007. We had met them all by 2004. So it was a great team of people.
He has a habit of doing that with a lot of his goals. So
yeah.
So talk a little bit about when you first started the business and kind of what it's become, because I know it's transitioned a lot. Even recently, it's made some changes.
Well, right, and anybody in the business of communications better be making changes.
Right.
Because if we stay the same, we're dead. But the firm started as a small boutique public relations firm. We've always had a big specialty area in healthcare, education, and banking and finance. Over the years, it has grown we have clients in every state in the country. Have about 12 or 15 people, one in DC, the rest in Nashville. Recently, as I'm trying to figure out whatever that exit strategy is that entrepreneurs don't want to face but have to, I have named one of my senior people who's been with me about 10 or 12 years as president of the company. And I spend every day trying to psychologically change my role from president to CEO. And I'm not quite sure if I'm doing that very well or not.
Right. So I want to get back to that in just a minute. But so, my perception is that you guys are so much more than just a traditional PR firm at this point.
Thank you. Thank you. I always say, I don't know what the business is we do, but it's not PR.
No.
We work with senior management in the areas of issue management, crisis communications, and strategic planning.
Right.
Now, because
I
believe...
the strategic planning part that I've seen you most active.
Well, that's right. And it's because, to me, any kind of organization, institution is built on relationships and public relations is relating to different constituents.
Sure.
And so when you put together a strategic plan, it's all about how you relate to the different constituents and what you do as a result of those relationships, or how those relationships facilitate those goals.
Right.
So we really are strategic planners, but at the core of our plans are communications vehicles.
Gotcha.
So that's how we're a little bit different.
All right. So let's talk about this exit that you're in the process of. So that's a difficult thing for any entrepreneur, but you've been at this for
way too long.
A long time. And this business has your name, and kind of talk about how you navigate something like that, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs who struggle with that whole thing. Just, not just the emotional part of this is my baby, but even kind of understanding how to make this transition work.
I always heard entrepreneurs say, oh, it's so hard to get out. And I used to think, oh, that's just silly. You just either close the door or you pass it on. Or wait. Now that I'm here, it is so much harder than I ever thought it would be.
Right.
When I first announced that Rosemary Plurine would be our president, I had 50 emails and LinkedIn messages. Congratulations on your retirement. I was like, no, I'm not retiring.
I got those when I stepped down as director and full-time faculty.
Of course.
The rumor around town was, well, he's retired.
Well, I thought so too. I said, are you still teaching? You said, yes, full-time.
Yeah.
But I immediately said, well, I'm looking forward to that. But it is hard emotionally. but not in the sense that you're leaving something that's your baby. It's more that you suddenly realize that all the little things you do as an entrepreneur have a little glue and stickiness that hold everything together.
Right.
And if you're the CEO and the founder of the company, as I was, you don't even realize what those little things are until you say, okay, I'm going to step back for a day or two and see what it looks like. And then you rush back in and go, okay, I was just kidding. I just, wait, I can take care of that. I can take care of that. And,
Right.
and it's hard. It's
Right.
hard to, we have a great team. They are smart. These are the most accomplished PR practitioners and strategic planners. I'll put them against anybody in the country.
Now, how big is your firm now?
Just 12, 15 people, depending on
That's a good sized firm.
It's manageable, and it's still very personalized. And
Right.
the disadvantage is I feel like I'm everybody's friend and mother.
Right.
And I want to take care of everybody, no matter what happens. And I think that's the good and the bad part of being an entrepreneur. But for me, it's more the good part.
So what are you trying to achieve if you with what you're comfortable to share in terms of this exit? Where are you going to?
Well, it's interesting that you have this show. So if any of your viewers, listeners, readers of your fabulous blog want to offer me advice, I'm all ready for it. I can take anybody's advice. I'm going to try to exit slowly over the course of a few years and try to identify the pieces that I can give up. The firm will be fine. I mean, people
Right.
say, oh, it's got your name on it. That's all.
Right.
I mean, these people are producers who work for me. They're producers, they're rainmakers, they're deliverers, they do
They
it
all have their own relationships with clients.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And some people say in this business you shouldn't do that, that's risky. Well, I trust my people. I like to have them be in charge of their own business and their own account and their own accounts. And if that's risky, so be it. I think the payoff is a great organization and relationship with your people. But I'm trying to back away a little bit at a time because I don't think I can go cold turkey. But everybody else says you better go cold turkey because you're not going to be able to just halfway hang in there.
Yeah.
So I've considered, what if I only worked 40 hours a week? How about that?
Part-time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what if I just didn't work weekends?
Right.
People think, what are you, crazy? And I don't work every weekend, but it's
Right.
a mindset of somehow being able to turn it off.
You don't stop thinking about it on the weekends.
You can't.
Yeah, so it is working because
It is.
you're planning,
Well,
you're
you're thinking, and then you
strategizing.
got distracted at the office and didn't finish a piece of work, so you're doing it, Saturday night,
Yep.
and it's not like work. Sometimes people say, well, golly, you're pushing your employees too hard, or they might actually not like it if I send them an email, at 10 o'clock on Saturday night. They don't have to answer it.
Right.
It's just on my mind. I want to get it off my mind.
Right. Right.
Dump it on them.
Right. So you're still kind of searching, it sounds like.
I am searching. You got any advice? What do you tell people?
I think the advice you've gotten about pulling that Band-Aid off quickly is probably the one that works the best.
Really?
Yeah. It's a difficult step, but I think that's, when I look at entrepreneurs who have sold their business, for example, and stay on with a contract, and some of them want to stay on. They don't want to go away. They want to, I want to keep involved. They're going to give me a contract. I'm going to work. Within 3 or 4 months, they're miserable.
Really?
Yeah. And so, I think when you're at that point and you have everything set up properly, end it.
Yeah.
It's like when I'm done at Belmont, I'm not going to do a phased retirement or partial retirement. I'm going to be done. I think I think that clean break, and that's what I did with my company. I came home one day, and that was the last day I was ever going to go there again.
Wow, that's funny. This Bo Thomas, who was at Belmont,
Yep.
I ran into Bo at a chamber event this morning. I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He said, "Today's my first day of retirement."
Yep.
I said, "How does it feel?" He looked a little peaked to me. I didn't think he looked that good. He just looked a little out of sorts, like he didn't know what to do next.
That's the other side. You need to have that plan ahead of time.
Oh, I have a plan. There are so many things I'm going to do
That's
that I've
how
put
I
off.
am. Yeah,
I
that's how
have too many
am.
things to do that I can't do now. So.
Yep.
But it's interesting. I don't mind sharing with you that I will sell. The plan is to sell the company to the employees,
Sure. Oh, that's wonderful.
and they are great employees, and we're working through all that. And I think they're just going to take it and make it 10 times better than it was when I had
That's
it.
awesome. Well, you've done so many wonderful things in this town, and I'm so happy for you. So thanks for coming by.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks
Take
for
care.
having me on.
Yep.